I have 4 Grandwork protocols that come in a laminated form. They are 2 sides each, and they're each a little different from each other. The first one is the Regulation Protocol, which outlines all the steps in the regulation, and it sort of pencils in blue steps that you may or may not do that don't necessarily apply to a full regulation. But for instance, your rough in, level, and other steps. Well, if you're reassembling new parts, or you have old parts that are in terrible condition, or moth has eaten away the punchings or something, you might have to rough in a general way in order to be able to bed your keyframe and do your sampling. But in general, you have here, as I've outlined them, 5 steps in the piano, and then you go from step 6 right through step 29 out on the bench, and then you go back to the piano for step 30 through 37. And yes, there are 37 steps, which is a salute to my friend Leroy Edwards and his fine pedagogy for teaching regulation. And it's a bit of a contrivance to push and pull them so they come out at just 37. And one of those contrivances is that I leave out the things that you might not do, like restoration, assemble, install the back actions, and so forth. And the voicing is kind of a thing of its own. In fact, this regulation protocol is really a pre-voicing protocol. It prepares the piano to realize the potential that's in the voice that the action carries for the performer. And so that's the regulation protocol, and it's laminated, and a Sharpie pen can put a check mark on it that doesn't smudge but will come off with alcohol, so you can use it over and over. So yesterday I pre-lifted wire, I checked for tightening screws, they in fact were all tight. I solved excessive friction, which involved taking things apart and using keys. The hammer line was already off the cushions, check. I bedded the key frame, measured the front rail crown, which we didn't have, check. I chose sample keys and removed the front punchings to the machine screws, check. Step 4, I set leveling and bedding samples with key steps, and I followed my key step protocol. Step 5, set kissing samples of strike with the WNG dip tool, check. So just now I have fixed the position and shimmed the back rail and front rail. I would have applied front rail crown had there been one. I've set the balance rail with key steps to the key steps that we set in the piano yesterday. I haven't yet removed the key steps. But anyway, so I've done those step 6 and step 7, check, check.